guys, it's Sam and this is the mid-year book freakout tag. I've been tagged by a few people in this, but I forgot to screenshot it on Twitter, so I don't know, tag me, but if you did, I'm sorry. I actually wasn't even planning on doing this tag because I was like, oh, I covered my, halfway through the year reading goals, I don't need to talk about this, but then I looked at the questions and it's like, oh wait, these questions cover things that I haven't actually talked about, so I'm gonna do it now, a little late. People do this tag all the way until like October, I feel like, so we're totally fine. Let's get into it. Number 1 is the best book you've read so far this year, and that is, I think, a two-way tie because I couldn't really decide. Both of them are audiobooks, which is just how my year is going, and that is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel and Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. Both of these have stuck with me. Both of these I think about a lot. Both of them are great, and both of them introduced me to authors that I plan on reading more of. They're fantastic. Number 2 is the best sequel you've read so far this year. That is definitely The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. This was the third and final book in the Broken Earth trilogy and was devastating and wonderful. Number 3, what is a new release that you haven't read yet? And that is a book that literally just released this week as of the week that I'm filming this, and that is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This just arrived in my house like yesterday. And I want to read it so bad, and I can't because I have no time. And I'm in not even the middle of The Grace of Kings. I completely failed my own readathon, which is Tome Topple, which is why I didn't even want to hold it because I knew I wouldn't have time. But I did it for the people. And now I'm like less than 100 pages into a 600 page book, and I want to read this so bad. But I'm enjoying Grace of Kings. Side note, but like, a book by one of my favorite authors who wrote one of my favorite books came out and I can't read it because I have no time. Number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and that is The Phoenix Empress by Kay Arsenal Rivera. It's the second book in the Tiger's Daughter, which I've talked about a ton, and I am ready for this. Hype. Sign me up. And it's coming out in October, which means I'll have time to read it because I'll be done with graduate school. I'll be way done with graduate school and I'll have time. So the second it arrives, I can just read it. Oh, I'm so ready for my warrior women in love to tell me more about their lives. Number 5 is biggest disappointment so far this year, and ooh, there's a lot of them. So first we have Shadow Song by S.J. Jones. I wasted time reading that. It was horrible. I'm so sad. And we have The Bells by Donnell Clayton. I think I'll maybe give the series another chance, but like this had so much potential and it just did not live up to the potential. Compulsively readable, but just not the substance I was hoping there would be. Oh, so sad about it. Then Victoria Schwab failed me again and dropped the ball on Our Dark Duet. I loved this Savage Song, and then Our Dark Duet happened and I was like, what happened to that series that surprised me and thrilled me, and it was so great. And my biggest disappointment so far this year in life is Immortal Rain by Morgan Rhodes, which is the finale book of Fallen Kingdoms. I am so sad by this. I don't even really remember what happened in this book. I just know that it was not the finale that the series deserved. And I lived in fear that this would happen, and it did. And I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh. So yeah, the first 4 books in the series, real good, I recommend, I really liked them. Last 2, not so much. I have a full series review if you want to hear my in-depth thoughts. Number 6 is biggest surprise, and I would say that's Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. I didn't know I was going to love it so much. I barely knew anything going into it. It was a BookTube SFF Award nominee for this year, and I loved it. I hadn't read any Mark Lawrence before. I've heard that some people don't like his other series because it's a little bit too much. So I wasn't really expecting much out of this, and it blew me away. Number 7 is favorite new author, and this can be a debut or a new to you author. So this is one that I've already talked about, Emily St. John Mandel, who wrote Station 11. I will read anything that she comes out with now. And also Jeff Vandermeer, who wrote Born. I like the new weird genre, and that is kind of what he specializes in, so now I plan on reading everything else by him, because while Born was weird, it was weird in such a delightful way, and I need more of that in my life. 8 is newest fictional crush, and I could not really think of anyone for this. I looked through all the books and I'm like, I don't really have a crush on anyone, and then I remembered that the one who comes pretty close would be Mistress Shade from Red Sister. She is the poisoner, and I love her. She sort of reminds me a little bit of Liliana from Dragon Age Inquisition. Well, Dragon Age in general, but I know her from Inquisition. She sort of reminds me of her a little bit. And I love her. 9 is newest favorite fictional character. And again, I had some trouble with this because I haven't read a lot of like standout favorite books that weren't already from series and characters I already loved from the past and whatever. But then I remembered Born from Born by Jeff Vandermeer. And Born is my small trash child. Like actually, like he's sort of like an alien thing that may or may not kill people. It's no big deal, he's cute. He's like a cute carnivorous plant. I love him. He's a sweet bean, and I will defend him. Probably detrimentally to me, but I will defend him. Number 10 is a book that made you cry, and that is Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. Everyone kind of knows that this is a tearjerker. It's about a girl that goes to her family lake house because it's her dad's last summer with them because he has terminal cancer. Obviously it's going to be a tearjerker, but the next question is also a book that made you happy, and that was also this, because this felt very nostalgic to me. I grew up around like lake houses and in Wisconsin with like lake houses, so there was all these like references to like lake houses and lake towns that made me so nostalgically happy that this book was like the perfect combination of both for me. Number 12 is favorite book to movie adaptation. I have not watched any book to movie adaptations. Maybe Game of Thrones I watched last year. So yeah, I haven't watched anything that's book to movie adaptation. And have any really come out? I guess maybe a few. I haven't watched any of them. I haven't seen any movies. I just saw Ocean's 8 and that was amazing. And that's like the only movie I've seen so far this year. And it was a gift personally to me. But that's irrelevant because it wasn't a book. Number 13 is favorite video I've done so far this year. I always have trouble with these because I like all the videos I put out. It's why I create them. But I tend to like doing my discussion videos the most, so I liked the one that I did on changing book tastes. I also like the one that I did on book event FOMO, and the one that I started the series on as far as like in-depth tropes and stuff on main character and villain dynamics. That was good. That was fun. I will leave links to those down below if you want to check those out. Number 14 is most beautiful book you've bought or been given this year. And I really like the Amberlow books. I think, is it called the Amberlow? I don't actually know what the series title is for this. By Laura Elena Donnelly. They redesigned the covers and they're so pretty. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. And number 15 is books you need to read by the end of the year. And I've already done a video on this and my end of the year TBR and stuff, so I will link that on the screen. I have 8 books I talk about needing to read before the end of the year in that video. So comment below and let me know some of the answers for these questions for you and your kind of mid-year book freak out answers. So thank you all for watching and I'll see all you guys soon. Bye!